elections in United. So my name is Kateryna Odarchenko, and I'm an international campaign manager and campaign organizer. So today I received several requests, like complex lecture about political archetypes and also about American elections. So we will moving forward with analyzing like top images of political campaign here and also top tools on this 2024 elections. If host will give me opportunity to share screen, I will share my screen. And also, if you're interested in some issues directly, you can send me questions about that, and I will answer this question. So, as I understand, we will work like half an hour, so I hope it's will be enough. Today in 2024 elections in the United States, it's a pretty interesting campaign because it's a campaign which moving forward with new candidates, and Kamala Harris have pretty interesting also archetype and very good field organizing. Donald Trump have more strong ways, and we will analyze why like one or other candidate can move forward, and then we'll compare these candidates with some candidates from Europe, where we also used to work as SSE Group. So Valentina, I really need to share my screen now, so if you can give to me this permission, it's really great. Let's. Okay, I will send. Yeah, good afternoon. One moment, I will share my screen. Yeah. Okay, so let's start this conversation from like generally understanding what is start of like good campaign management. So for sure, it's research. And if we work in the United States, you can go to several site generators which give to you a pretty comprehensive vision of research and of understanding that now Republicans a little informed than Democrats. And from my experience also working in Eastern Europe, a lot of people generally ignore research and didn't work with research at all. So they didn't know like posting, they didn't work with posters, they didn't do focus groups, and for sure they not use some like big data to analyze also digital audience and so on and so forth. So first, my tip that if you even want to work in campaign parliament, you must do research for sure. Second, it's a strategy. And strategy, it's will also have separate lectures of strategy, but with strategy you always work on like your key message, you work on your key projects, you work on your image, you work on your archetype, and after that, after strategy, you also write your tactics and with some tools, which some tools it's classical like canvassing, phone banking, and I don't know, like town halls, but some it's pretty new tools. And I will give to you also some examples of this campaign. One of the main questions, what is archetype, right? So I take this picture from Politico, and I think that it's pretty good picture to show like a vision of Politico of archetype. And you see like archetype also of candidate and of voter of base who vote for this politician. And when we also go to understanding of ladies archetype, it's always Aetna or Artemis. So it's like vice lady or it's a lady warrior. It's very important to understand that, because in some culture, when you choose not right archetype, because, for example, to feminine archetype, right, or and then you use this archetype not in right way, like your voters will feel that this person don't fit for public policy. And I work a lot with ladies as a candidate, and also here I work with female member of U.S. Congress. So that's why I'm very deep understand that the most useful archetypes for ladies and for candidate women, it's of course Aetna and Artemis. So because if you be too feminine, like Walter can think that this lady is good for like some, I don't know, charity work, but she not ready to be politician. And for sure, if you fight her, and public policy is always fight, it's better to choose this archetype. It's Aetna and Artemis. It's very, 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 it's crucial to understand archetypes, because it's basic of all marketing and all political marketing. So generally, all marketing builds on this understanding of like character of your brand or character of your political force and on your values. So also like progressive liberal and conservatives have pretty different archetypes of member of their political forces. But if you like want to work in the sector and you still don't like explore like theory of archetypes and political archetypes, it makes sense to dive deeper. You can do that on our YouTube channel, SSE Group, or you can read like basic books on that, like books of Jung and books of Boleyn about like feminine archetypes and so on and so forth. Here are also some like examples of archetypes of leaders and of business leaders. So as you see in business, it's like more diverse archetypes, because if you lead, for example, digital company or IT startup, you can work not only in archetype of ruler, because politicians, they mostly like archetype of hero, ruler, maybe with some elements of creator or sage, but not like inventor or jester, which can be used in some business. If we also see like these examples of archetypes of business leaders. So one more time, now let's look to Kamala Harris, and also obviously her archetype and her basic, very dynamic political strategy, because it's new strategy to move her to like first to step in. It was very quick decision on Delaware office, but you also can see how this deep archetype, even in clothing, in image, in physical image, it's moving forward to like clothing now. You see this like necklace, this type of her outlook, and here on the left side you can see that her outlook, it's really pretty standard outlook for Aetna. She used to be in this image on all her public speeches, and it's pretty standard for lady who is like vice lady, so in Aetna archetype. Generally, Ivanka Trump also worked in this archetype. So it's like Diana, so like vice woman, vice lady archetype, but it's also with some elements of mother because she wrote a lot about her kids. And for example, Melania Trump, she have completely different archetype of Hera. So it was Zeus' wife in mythology, in Greek mythology. But one time she less like politician, right? So she can work in a very different archetype. And you feel that, even if you're not like political manager, but you voted, you very good feel these archetypes. One more time, let's move to other candidates, to be honest. So with Trump, it's very clear that it's like archetype of ruler. It's very different from archetype of Biden, who was like emotional leader. So Trump, it's a classical ruler. And this assassination attempt, we also see that he adds to his image very important like type of chosen one, which part of hero journey. So every hero and every politician must be a hero in generally understanding of a hero journey. So some troubles which politician can move it forward and then come back to be a hero. We can teach more about hero journey in political management and also in filmmaking in my lecture on SSE Group, to know more how it's important in political storytelling. But for sure, this assassination attempt give to Trump like additional part as chosen one, which is very important for conservative audience, and it's give to me to him additional benefits. And as you see, Trump never casual, so he always in a ruler archetype. And Kamala Harris, she's casual sometimes. For example, in one of her newsletters, she was pretty casual. She showed like her Zoom with Biden from pretty casual circumstances. Um, JD Vance here, for example, he also tried to be more casual when he has speeches on southern border to show not his part of story when he finished Ivy League, but part of story when he was, like he was born a self-made man, and he tell his story. If we have a lot of international audience, we know that JD Vance was so her mother, his mother have addiction, and then he tells the story on RNC about like his way and how he grew up in Ohio. So that's why his outlook also like a little in different type than Trump. So let's also going forward. So we discussed archetype and image, which based on this archetype, and also we discuss as second issue how you come from this archetype to issue which you use as a words, as your language, as your stories, as your rallies. So that's why when you use these stories, you generally also based your story on archetype. One more time, you can be like creator, right? And said how innovative you, and that you, I don't know, like to do yoga and be by yourself like 1 month, right? It's not political behavior. But if you're hero or you ruler, you always prove that you best in business, you best in management, you best in foreign policy, you best and you see that all Trump speeches, for example, it's classical ruler language. So one more lesson is that your archetype always correlates with your language and with your speeches, and with your political story. The same with JD Vance, right? So his archetype and his story, it's very, very classical hero journey. So I wrote some article how how we can build classical hero journey on J.D. Vance biography. You can look on SSE Group page and Kateryna Odarchenko page. And after that, we look who is audience with these candidates and what tools these candidates use. So for sure, Democrats is much more effective in grassroots campaign and in digital campaign. And here, just for example, I will show to you tools which Democrats use for digital campaign to engage more volunteers. So it's always the best and the most effective soft. It's very useful friendly. So even the most active people, they can go and they can choose also some like issues which they interested in. For example, like unemployment, and they have some messages like against unemployment, or they interested in like programs for seniors, or they want to like share some negative information about opponents. So Democrats have great digital tools which mobilize. They also can use Reach app. So you can use these apps also in your campaign, not only like DNC have the success. And it's really make much better engagement process. So that's why like Harris have much more volunteer engagement and much more money, because it's much more easier to send money to her. It's a very good like mailing campaign. It's a lot of phone banking work, and this phone banking organized in really good way because soft is much better. Here you can see also the same tools from Republicans website. So tools not so modern, not so like interface friendly, and of course it's also not so many volunteers opportunity which you can find online. I think it's pretty big mistake for Republicans, because a lot of people who support not like Trump personally and his like archetype, but more the economic agenda, they digitalize. And of course, like if you haven't good tool, these volunteers haven't access to give to you hours of work, or generally send more money to receive their work. So it's just like example how it looks like. So you see that it's not so like a digital friendly. Let's moving forward to also practicing more with archetypes with European politicians. So it's Mrs. Meloni, she's Prime Minister Italy, if you're not so interested in European policy. So she worked also in like Aetna and Artemis archetype, but she give a little feminine archetype of Demeter, of mother, the same as Ivanka Trump. And if you see her rallies, she also used a lot of like casual images, because she talked a lot with voters who, from suburban Italy, which is interesting, because if we compare her image with Slovenian president or with Angela Merkel, they not try to be very feminine. They try to be like ladies, but in men's form, right? So it's very different. So they not try to be like mother of nation. They try to be only Aetna, so professional, right? And not so much fighter, because their societies it's not was not so polarized before. About Germany, I can say it like right now, but even in image and even in how they make their hair, you can see that it's completely different archetype, and it's zero like feminine details, as we can see in Meloni's look and image, and in Meloni's speech. And also here I give one more example of Nikki Haley. So she is a person who work a lot with international audience with policy. She knows that the best also type of image should show purity. It's white, of course, and to show like you as wise woman, but she also talked a lot about foreign policy and peace. So that's why you also can see like little feminine issue in your archetype, and it was very typical for last RNC, for the last Republican Congress, because they do a lot of accent on family values, and they speak a lot of with the religious community, where it's very identified roles as like ladies mother, right? And but one more time it's good in some portion, but it's became like bad if you do it not in right words, because mother, like archetype mother, it's very good when you talk about family values and your experience. But right, like Melanie talked a lot about her daughter, right? And sometimes, for example, in Germany, you don't know generally anything about Angela Merkel's private life. Here also, if we talk about men in Europe and and you can said to me that all men they born with an archetype of hero and of not like Macron have a little different accents, so also on like Apollo accent in archetype, and also like this couple different archetypes. I think that this period of demand for such politicians will end in France in some like next elections, but we'll see. It's Piotr Pavel, he's president of Czech Republic, so he generally person from army with military experience, but here you can see he's the same in position of warrior, but also this wise man. But you know that he is warrior because he was an army. And President Zelensky, very different archetype, very not typical archetype, because he comes generally in very innocent, archetype, and because he was Chaldean before, and then he evolved to like archetype of warrior, which I think it's not his organic archetype, of course, but it's unique situation when people vote for very different archetype, and of course Argentina, it's the same example of not typical archetype of Millet, who not go to classical like ruler, but give a little other accents to his image. But one more time, not every person can work in this archetype as Millet and Zelensky, and sometimes when you became like work in office, you can be just regular guy, or like different like element of jester. You must be like fighter or ruler. So I hope that this information was useful for you, and now you understand how you can connect like research, your target group, then your messaging, your archetype, and your general language and image. So please think some example how about politicians in your country, how they can use that, and maybe you can give to me some examples also in comments on the video on this lecture. And also I hope you understand this like connection between strategy and tools, which every candidate used to share their message. So of course, like classical ruler don't go too much by himself to some jokes in social media, but for example for Trump it's other people doing TikTok, and it's pretty viral, and Kamala Harris directly joined herself to TikTok, which is very 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 different, because archetype is different, and that's why tools it's also tools is also very different. Even fundraising town halls of Trump is very different from town halls of Democrats. So my name is Kateryna Odarchenko, and if you want to listen more lecture like this, please send to me issues which you're interested in, and I will be happy to organize like more lectures. And also, if we talk about cooperation, our company SSE Group will be happy to communicate with you on question on political consulting and work internationally on that, and also question of different tailored products for your company. So if you have any questions, let's discuss that. Okay, so yesterday I also published several video with examples about direct tools and direct soft which Democrats use for the digital campaign. That's why you can come to Kateryna Odarchenko and SSE Group USA YouTube and Facebook, and you can find direct soft, and maybe try to use the soft. If you're from United States, you can use it pretty easily. If you're from other countries, some soft work only in United States, but you can see what soft make the most big difference. And big difference, I train like some field organizers there, and big difference, it's really big difference. So if you use the right tool, you can involve like more than 100 volunteers to every activity, and it's 100,000 for all countries. So right tools, it's also very important for sharing of your messages. It was very good to see all of you, and take care. So hope it was useful. Very good to see you. Yeah.